Okay, guys, so this is the sheet. I want you starting on this actual question. Actually, let's see. Yeah, let's start on this side. So I just chopped up some questions. You may see these on the actual assessment. We're going to go through a couple of these together. Actually, we're going to go through this whole handout together, and then you're going to turn this handout in. You're not going to get to use this on the test because there may be some actual questions. So it'd be very important to try to pay attention now. So the first question says the point A12 was dilated to become point A prime 2, 3. What was the scale factor? So basically, I'm going to take 812 was the first point, and then I went down to 2, 3. So initially, you should see that this point was getting smaller. Do you see how the coordinates are getting smaller? So you know that the scale factor has to be less than 1. It can't be big. It can't be a whole number, all right? It has to be a fraction because it's getting smaller. It's a reduction. It's shrinking. Now, what is it shrinking by? You think about it went from 8 to 2 and 12 to 3. What is the common thing? Is it getting divided by? What's it getting divided by? If you see 8 to 2, it's getting divided by 4. A division of 4 is going to be 1 over 4 scale factor. And you guys remember this bar basically means division, right? So 1 over 4 is your answer, not 4. 4 would mean it's getting 8 times 4. No, this time it's going divided by 4. All right, these are going to be tough, but do the best you can. There's about 6 of them on the test. There's 25 total questions. It's not going to take you the whole period. A lot of them are translations, reflections, and then other questions like these, okay? You'll be fine. And rotations, and you're going to be given patty paper and graph paper. All right, look at the next one. Dilate point B by a scale factor of 3. Where's B? 0, 4. And remember how to plot coordinates. You don't go left or right. You stay 0 and then you go up 4. And it says do it by a scale factor of 3, which basically if you wrote the rule out, this is what the rule would look like. 3 times x, 3 times y, okay? What's 3 times x? Well, what's 3 times 0? 0. What's 3 times 4? 12, okay? So 0, 12. All of the whole test will be multiple choice, even though some of these I cut off the answers so you guys can just have more room for questions here. Now, you have to be good at looking at images. So I'm going to zoom in again. And guys, on your test, please use the zoom in feature to look at what's happening. And it wants to know what the rule represents for the dilation. So what's actually the scale factor is what I'm really wanting to know. What's happening? So take one letter and go to the other letter. This one's tough to see, but let's take F. And F is actually, if you look at it, it's over 10, up 0. You go to the right 10. You don't go up or down. And then it's going to go to F prime, which is going to be actually over 5, up 0. Let's take a second. What happened? We got smaller. Again, this is a reduction. It's a shrink. It's a reduction. It got smaller. That's the new image, the red, okay? And what did it shrink by? What did it get divided by? 10 to 5, it got cut in half. It got divided by 2. So your scale factor is 1/2, okay? All right, the next one. You would be using patty paper if you had it. Let me grab some patty paper. I'm going to grab some up there in a second, but let's take a second and look at point A if you can. Point A is right here, all right? Now, you may have points today on the quiz that you may have to use an exact point, and you're just gonna, you can use the graph paper and just graph it. So on this one, we're gonna go ahead and draw this out. Draw your axis. If you forgot how to do the rotations, we're gonna draw the axis. And then it says counterclockwise 90. We're gonna go counterclockwise 90. Remember, we're going counterclockwise. So let me draw my image. I didn't draw it on there yet. You can see it through there though. I'm drawing this image here. And really, I'm focused on A. That's my point right there that I need to make sure where is it going to be located. Counterclockwise means one turn, not clockwise, but opposite of clockwise to the left. And where is my new A? It's kind of tough to see, but it's like right about here, I think. I think I got it pretty good. And if I look at that coordinate, and I have coordinates to choose from, I have multiple choices to choose from. This looks to be negative, 5, positive 3, and I would choose C, okay? Do the best you can with these rotations, all right? Next one, 180 degrees, and it's gonna ask about point B, and it's super hard to see, but this is point B on here. On your test, you got to zoom in, you'll be able to see it. But if I rotate anything off of this here, and I'm going to rotate for that point B, any which way, if I go 180, that's 90, that's 180. It's pretty easy to see where B prime is going to be, and it's still going to stay at the origin. That's not going to work for every time with other points, but if it's on the origin, that's where it's going to stay. All right, let's do the backside. Now, looking at the backside, this one's a little more intense to look at, and I'm going to zoom in. It says, what is the algebraic representation? That word, what does it look like? The rule, basically, is what it's asking. What is the rule? Okay, and it's hard to see the triangles exactly, but if I look at, let's look at B, it says it's 3, 3. And if I look at B here, it's 1, 1. And this is getting smaller. You can see the primes. They're really small, but you can see the primes. So it's getting smaller. It went from 3, 3 down to 1, 1, which means it's getting divided by 3, which means it's a 1/3 scale factor. Now look at this. This means it's getting multiplied by 2. That's a 2 scale factor. That's a scale factor of 3. This, guys, that's a translation. That means you're going to go to the right 3 and down 3. This right here is your answer. 1/3. You're multiplying everything by 1/3, or basically you're dividing everything by a third, by 3. All right, 2 more. Let's go. So we're going to figure out the rule again. Let's go from B. This is B, and you can't see it, but this is B right here. I go over 2 up 2 to B prime, which is 1, 1. And it's pretty easy to see that it got divided by 2 or got cut in half. Anytime you divide something by 2, you get cut in half, right? So your rule would be 1/2 x, 1/2 y, okay? Again, do the best you can today. There's going to be some easy questions, and there are going to be some that are going to try and trip you up. And just take your time, use your graph paper, use your patty paper. Last one. We're getting bigger on this one. We're going to go from 2, 1 all the way to 4, 2. 2, 1 to 4, 2. What do we multiply it by? It's pretty easy to see. We multiply both of them by 2. We're going to get to 4, 2. So our rule is multiplying both coordinates by 2. Now let me go over one thing real quick after this one here. It's talking about dilations. I want you to know that dilations are not congruent. I repeat, they are not congruent, which means they're not the same. You know what they are? They're not congruent. They're similar. They are similar. Like this triangle here and this triangle here, they're not the same, but they're similar. They look alike. Little brother, big brother. All right. If you had 2 brothers that were identical twins, those are congruent. Okay. Just make sure you understand that. Do the best you can. It's out of 25 questions, but we may change that. We may curve it. So it may not be out of 25. It could be out of 23 or 24. So do the best you can. Every problem matters. Oops.